Sunday, week 2 NFL is almost here. I'm going to run through all the afternoon games. Going to do a separate video for the night game, listing props as well. But going to run through all my final thoughts on the 1 o'clock and 4:25 p.m. games. So before I do that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have picks against the spread for the NFL and college football. I go real into detail on my picks. We have 2026 and 2027 NFL mock drafts. We have fantasy football weekly rankings, NFL power rankings. We grade every signing, we grade every trade. It's all at walterfootball.com. It's all free. All right, so let's get to these games. The first one is Patriots at Dolphins. This line is Dolphins -2.5. I don't quite get why the Dolphins are favored here. The Dolphins were the worst team in the NFL last year, and historically maybe one of the worst teams we've ever seen in our lifetime in week 1. They were the only team to ever allow an opponent to score in every single possession. The Colts did it with Daniel Jones. It wasn't Tom Brady. It wasn't Peyton Manning. It was Daniel Jones. And then offensively, sorry. Tua Tagovailoa looked very confused. The Dolphins couldn't block. They lost 2 blockers from last week, James Daniels and Austin Jackson. They're both out, so their offensive line, which is already bad, is going to be a lot worse. You have Mike Vrabel as a very great defensive-minded coach. I feel like he's going to be able to confuse Tua, and I'd be surprised if the Patriots lost this game. I don't know why they're underdogs. The Jaguars at the Bengals, our big play last week, it was our pick of the month. Browns +5.5 for the Bengals. It almost won outright. Now, it covered easily, but the Browns should have won. Their kicker missed 4 points worth of kicks, and the Browns had 2 interceptions that were dropped by the receivers. And they also had a 4th down try that was dropped. So they easily could have won. They outgained the Bengals by 200 yards. The Bengals have major problems. So first of all, they can't play defense at all. So the Jaguars should be able to move the ball up and down the field against them. And they can't block. They also lost the lineman, Lucas Patrick. He's out. So Jacksonville, which has some good pass rushers, they should be able to get to Burrow, make his life pretty tough. I think the Bengals are going to score more than they did last week, but the Jaguars could easily outscore them. So I think Jacksonville's a live dog here. But either way, I'd be kind of surprised if the Bengals won by more than a field goal. So I like Jacksonville a lot. Browns at the Ravens. This line is 11.5. So the Ravens are in a tough spot. They're just coming off that big 41-40 Sunday night thriller. Next week, they play on Monday Night Football against the Lions, who are 15-2 last year. So they may overlook the Browns. Then again, it's a divisional opponent, so it's not quite like Raiders-Ravens week 2 from last year, where the Ravens lost outright at home. I know this seems like a similar spot, but it's not quite the same. So I would lean toward the Browns just because, the Ravens are favored by a lot, and the Browns aren't one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have a really good defense. They have some playmakers. They have good blocking. But the Ravens, they could easily win here. I'm not going to bet this one. It feels like it can go either way. The Ravens just could be an S-tier team this year, despite their loss, and I just don't want to stand in front of that. Giants at the Cowboys. This line is 5.5 in most places. A couple 4.5s -120s. Don't pay for 4.5. Games don't land on 5 very often. But I like the Cowboys here. The Giants are going with Russell Wilson again, which makes no sense. I don't know why they just don't go with Jameis Winston if they don't want to play the rookie quarterback. I understand not wanting to play the rookie quarterback with no Andrew Thomas, but why not just go to Jameis Winston, who's much better? He's liked better in the locker room too. Russell Wilson is so decrepit at this point; he can't do anything, and especially with no Andrew Thomas, he's not going to have the blocking. Dallas also has extra time to prepare for this game. The Rams -5.5 for the Titans. I like the Rams a lot here. The Titans are one of the worst teams in the NFL. I just want to fade them. I know they kept it close against Denver last week, but that was just Denver imploding, making dumb mistakes. The Titans, I know they made a lot of mistakes too, but they're a very young team, rookie quarterback and whatnot, a bad head coach. I don't think they're gonna have what it takes here. And the big disadvantage for them in this game is that their offensive line, which is not very good and could be missing the right tackle, is going against the Rams over great pass rush with Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk and whatnot. So the Rams should be able to take care of business in Tennessee. Bills at the Jets. I'm not betting this one, but I would take the Jets. The Bills are in a tough spot as well, kind of like the Ravens. They're coming off the come from behind win from down 40-25. They won 41-40 in that Sunday night thriller. And then next week, they have to play in 4 days against the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins aren't really a great opponent to look forward to, but it's not like the Bills are going to be focused against the Jets either. They swept the Jets last year, and the Dolphins almost beat them in the second matchup last year. So given that they only have 3 days off after this one, they could sit some banged up players. They have a lot of injured cornerbacks. So just watch out for that in the injury report. If the Bills are missing 3 of their top 4 cornerbacks, it might be worth a small play on the Jets. The Bears at the Lions. This line has moved up to 6.5. I like the Bears initially. But given that the Packers just walloped the Redskins on Thursday Night Football, that makes the Detroit Week 1 performance look a little bit better. I'm still down on the Lions. They still have 2 new quarterbacks, 2 coordinators. They still have 2 new interior linemen. One of their tackles is injured, so they're in a rough spot here. Plus, Ben Johnson knows Detroit, so I think Chicago's the right side. However, the Bears have 1 fewer day to prepare, and they still have Caleb Williams, who's a disaster. He might be, it's crazy, but he might be the worst quarterback in that draft class of the 6 in the first round. So I don't know if I want to bet either side. I would take Chicago if I had to. It's another game I don't really have any interest in. Seahawks and Steelers. We had some strong opinions from Evan, Daniel, and Tom Quacky T on our show. They both like the Steelers a lot. I don't know. I think I might side with Seattle here. Just feels like Seattle should be able to run on Pittsburgh, and that's what Seattle does best offensively. Is just run with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. That should open up stuff for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Pittsburgh's defense looked awful last week. I don't know what to make of that. They should have more talent. They should have a better defense, but they couldn't stop the Jets at all. Is that an accident or is it going to be a trend? We'll see. We're going to learn a lot from this game. The 49ers at the Saints are only -3, -2.5, -118 at DraftKings, which I would definitely take over the -3s out there. I said this on the show on live stream all 3 days. I said I would take the Niners at -6. I don't get this line. I really don't understand it, and it's not a public trap because the public's on the Saints. I know there's a big negative sentiment toward Mac Jones, but remember, he was a first-round pick. He had a good rookie year. But in New England, he just didn't have a good supporting cast. Like Kendrick Bourne was his top receiver. And with the the Jaguars last year, he had Brian Thomas Jr., but that was it. No blocking, no second receiver, a head coach and Doug Peterson who had 1 foot out the door, terrible defense. Like he had no help there either. Now I'm not saying Mac Jones is a good quarterback by any means, but we do know Kyle Shanahan likes him, and he's going to have Christian McCaffrey to lean on. He's got Ricky Pearsall, a good offensive line, a good defense, and the Saints suck. So why are the Niners only -2.5 or -3? I don't get it. This is my top play of the week. Cardinals are -6.5 for the Panthers. I like them here. They're a team, and I said this last week, they're a team that just sits on bad teams. They're 7-1 against bad teams last year. They beat the Saints pretty soundly. I know it was a 7-point game at the end, but they kind of took their foot off the gas. They're up double digits for most of the second half. Carolina stinks. I said it last week when I was backing the Jaguars heavily. I said the public was completely fooled by them because everyone said, oh, they kept the games against the Chiefs, the Eagles, and Buccaneers so close last year. Well, they still lost those games, and those teams didn't try hard against them. So now they're playing against teams that are trying hard against them, and we see that they're not any good. This is the stat of the week, by the way. The Panthers had 5 pressures against the Jaguars last week. A Jaguars team that can't block very well. 5 pressures. But to put it in context, a player on the other side, Jaguars edge rusher Josh Hines Allen, he had 7 pressures on his own. So one player on the Jaguars had 2 more pressures than the entire Carolina team. That's how bad the defense is. So Arizona should be able to score very easily. All right, we have the game of the week, definitely the game of the year, not betting wise, just from an interest standpoint. Broncos at Colts, the battle of the horses. The Broncos are short favorites. They're -2.5. They were 3.5. I like the Colts a lot more 3.5, but I still like them a little bit 2.5. I'm not going to bet this game. Kind of crazy not to bet battle of the horses, but you have to kind of pick and choose what you have to do here. And the Broncos are another team that starts very slowly. Sean Payton is 3-19-1 against the spread since in weeks 1 and 2 since returning from Bounty Gate. I don't understand why he starts so slowly. He and Zach Taylor, I feel like, should join a club and kind of figure it out, maybe talk it out. Be like, hey, what are you doing that sucks so much in September? Oh, I'm doing this. So maybe they can find some common ground here. I don't understand it, but the Colts destroyed the Dolphins last week. Denver's gonna be a tougher opponent, but given that Denver starts slowly, I'm not sure how much more tougher. So if this game were in October, November, I think I'd be on the Broncos. But right now, we know Denver starts slowly. So I think Indianapolis will take you here, get revenge from the battle of horses last year, where Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball at the goal line to potentially go up 21-6. The Colts ended up getting blown out, but He should have kept the game closer. And as we all know, things haven't been the same around these parts since Battle of the Horses, and that was a big game last year. So Colts will get revenge here, I think. And then it's hard to talk about a game after the Battle of the Horses, but we'll get to Eagles Chiefs. An okay matchup, I guess. The Eagles are short favorites, -1.5 at Kansas City. We had some big disagreements on the show. So Andy Isco, professional bettor since 1990, he loves the Chiefs. This is top play of the week. However, Evan Daniel, a great bettor on his own right, he loves the Eagles. And then Tom loves the Eagles. And I'm like, I like the Chiefs a little bit. So we're 2 versus 2 here. It's a tough one because this is spot versus matchup. Matchup is the Philadelphia pass rush against the Chiefs offensive line, which still can't block. Amazing how they just can't fix their offensive line. The spot, though, you have the Chiefs with one more day. You have the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes coming off a loss, which is always great. You have Andy Reid circled this game as soon as the schedule came out. You know he did. And I'm sure Mahomes did too. So the Chiefs are going to be highly motivated here. The big revenge for the Super Bowl. So I think I would side with the Chiefs, but won't surprise me if the Eagles beat them. I would say the thing to bet in this game is A.J. Brown over receiving yards. I think he's going to be the squeaky wheel after doing nothing last week. Even Sirianni said he kind of hinted that Brown would be more involved. And Brown destroys man defenses, and the Chiefs play a lot of man. So I feel like this is a very good matchup for him. So those are the week 2 NFL picks for the Sunday games. I'm going to do individual videos for the Sunday night game and then the 2 Monday games. So look for that. But yeah, otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. It's all free, and I'll talk to you in the next video.